Guess the 60 most popular car logo. Let the quizzes begin with 4 different difficulty levels. Can you spot this first badge? Electric ruler, quiet predator. Absolutely, that is Tesla. Ready for another emblem? Scarlet myth, racing spirit. Correct, that is Ferrari. Shall we continue forward? 12-cylinder fury, exotic madness. Indeed, that is Lamborghini. Take a look at this symbol. Executive comfort, prestige presence. Yes, that is Mercedes-Benz. Observe this roundel closely. Dynamic handling. Thrill machine. Exactly, that is BMW. Recognize this familiar mark? Reliable Titan, everyday champion. Right, that is Toyota. Focus on this lion crest. Parisian flair, metropolitan edge. That is correct, that is Peugeot. Examine this 4-ring badge. All-wheel traction, digital dominance. You are right, that is Audi. Study this crest carefully. Circuit Predator, timeless force. Yes, that is Porsche. Notice this circular insignia. Urban heritage, worldwide fame. Correct answer, that is Volkswagen. Look at this bow tie mark. Brute strength, untamed character. That is correct, that is Chevrolet. See this wing symbol. High rev hero. Exactly, that is Honda. Check this badge out. Street tuner. Turbo vibe. Yes, that is Nissan. Consider this diamond emblem. Budget rocket, City King. Correct, that is Renault. Final one for easy. Value beast, rising power. That is right, that is Hyundai. Notice this compact icon. Tiny rocket, city fun. Yes, that is Mini. Take a glance at this badge. American muscle, loud power. Correct, that is Dodge. Analyze this emblem closely. Driver focus, pure balance. Indeed, that is Mazda. Look carefully at this cluster. All-wheel traction, rally heritage. Exactly, that is Subaru. Spot this refined badge. Premium Brute. Terrain mastery. Yes, that is Range Rover. Observe this elegant wingspan. Secret Agent Aura. Refined velocity. Correct, that is Aston Martin. Examine this regal symbol. Opulent comfort, grand touring strength. That is correct, that is Bentley. Notice this double R crest. Supreme indulgence, whisper authority. Exactly, that is Rolls-Royce. Take in this trident mark. Mediterranean thunder, exotic flair. Yes, that is Maserati. Study this serpent badge. Emotional performance, design heritage. Correct, that is Alfa Romeo. Look at this stainless icon. Temporal Voyager, 80s nostalgia. That is right, that is DeLorean. Focus on this tiny emblem. Micro-mobility, urban stealth. Exactly, that is smart. Observe this creative badge. Ride comfort, eccentric charm. Yes, that is Citroën. Consider this straightforward mark. Affordable champion. Practical decision. Correct, that is Dacia. Final one for medium. Large presence, executive charisma. That is correct, that is Cadillac. Examine this rare insignia. Hyper machine, Velocity deity? Exactly. That is Koenigsegg. Look closely at this badge. Featherweight assassin. Apex ruler. Yes, that is Lotus. Take a moment with this emblem. Sport rebel. Asphalt intensity. Correct, that is Cupra. Observe this scorpion mark. Compact explosive. Rowdy spirit. That is right. That is a Barth. Study this minimal symbol. Battery surge. Sustainable tomorrow. Exactly. That is Polestar. Check out this adventurous badge. Electric pickup. Exploration setting. Yes, that is Rivian. Notice this winged crest. Upscale ascent. Refined confidence. Correct. That is Genesis. Examine this oval emblem. Silky thrust. Luxury rhythm. That is correct. That is Infinity. Look at this refined star. Relaxed elegance, gentle journey. Exactly. That is Lincoln. Focus on this Alpine badge. Featherweight missile, Gallic competitor. Yes, that is Alpine. Observe this bold logo. Massive torque, heavy-duty hauler. Correct, that is Ram. Consider this sharp emblem. Accurate control, innovative precision. That is right, that is Acura. Notice this tri-shield mark. Gentle glide, subtle prestige. Exactly, that is Buick. Study this rare crest. Exotic predator. Extreme velocity. Yes, that is Zenvo. Final one for hard. Aerospace heritage. Boosted character. Correct, that is Saab. Observe this Cobra symbol. Circuit beast. Performance heritage. That is correct, that is Shelby. Examine this lightning badge. Battery Titan. Tomorrow acceleration. Exactly, that is Rimac. Notice this elite emblem. Ultra refinement. Aristocratic aura. Yes, that is Maybach. Look carefully at this tuning mark. Extreme horsepower. Obsession pursuit. Correct, that is Hennessy. Study this artistic crest. Styling mastery. Automotive sculpture. That is right, that is Pininfarina. Focus on this performance badge. Road competitor. Modified Fury. Exactly, that is Celine. Observe this understated emblem. Mechanical purity. Driver excitement. Yes, that is Noble. Take a look at this vintage badge. Retro elegance. Heritage charisma. Correct, that is Morgan. Examine this dramatic mark. Mediterranean flair. Powerful spirit. That is correct, that is De Tomaso. Notice this rising symbol. Modern surge. Battery ambition. Exactly, that is VinFast. Look at this red flag badge. National pride, premium authority. Yes, that is Hongqi. Study this contemporary emblem. Quick exchange. Electrified momentum. Correct, that is Neo. Observe this global badge. International reach. Industrial scale. That is right, that is Geely. Focus on this eco mark. Green style. Sustainable motion. Exactly, that is Fisker. Final one for impossible smooth cruiser. American legacy. Yes, that is Chrysler.